Our story today has already happened, and it will happen again and again. For life is full of recurring patterns. I have not revealed their real names to avoid embarrassment. I will let you enjoy the story.
His was my first trip to Rio de Janeiro. I arrived at the airport excited and feeling a little tired. I wanted a taxi. There were a lot of people waiting for a taxi. My bag was big and heavy, but I didn't care because I was happy with the trip. It was the first time I visited a country other than my own. My vacation wasn't long, but I would return to work anyway. I was thinking to myself, is a week enough for me to forget my worries and rest from work and from my manager's orders? I was working hard because I was new to my colleagues at work, so they were burdening me a lot and they were sending me the most exhausting work. I felt that they were selfish and did not care about me. They only cared about themselves. They threw the heaviest work on me because I was new to them at work. Therefore, I asked my manager at work for a leave of absence so that I could rest a little. Those bitter memories do not leave my head. I do not forget them. Even here on the threshold of this work, all my rosy dreams were shattered. I had no idea that life was so cruel and that it took so much from us, but anyway, we will continue living. My friends, I will tell you my story. My name is John. I was born into a middle-class family, neither rich nor poor. I was the youngest sibling. I had an older brother and sister. My brother is the eldest son and then my sister. I am the youngest sibling. Years passed between me and my sister because my mother did not want to have more than 2 children. Anyway, I came into our world and my mother said, I love him because he is my son. My father was happy with me when I was born and when I grew up a little. Was the spoiled son of my parents because I was the youngest son. When I cried, they tried to please me, and when I laughed, joy would appear on their faces. I was very happy every day that passed in this condition. One day my mother said to me, John, let's go to the nursery. I have prepared everything for you. In the nursery there were many children my age. I was happy with them. I played a lot with them. When my first day at kindergarten ended, I was so happy that I didn't notice the time passing. However, time flew by and so did the days of childhood, those beautiful days I always longed for, but they passed quickly in the blink of an eye. The days of kindergarten passed and the days of school came. One day my mother said to me, John, come to your school. I have prepared everything you need. And when he went to school, I found no one there. I did not find a single one of those who were with me in the nursery, whom I used to play with and whom I loved very much. The days and colleagues changed as well. The days of playing are gone and the days of school have come. Everything has changed. The teachers and all the faces have changed, even the seats have changed as well. My first day at school passed, and when I left, my mom was waiting outside the school to take me home. My dad was waiting for me, and when he saw me, he looked at me with a big smile and said, John, today is your day. I wish you happiness all your days, my son, but you must work hard at studying. I looked and saw a box of chocolates he had brought for me waiting for me. My dad said, you must be first in the class. I was looking at the chocolate impatiently, but I didn't want to take anything without permission. Dad said, it's yours, but I want you to promise to work hard in school and I'll bring you more chocolate and whatever you want. That's my promise. If you study hard and excel, I'll bring you more. Yes, I promise, Dad, I said. Remember who you should listen to and who you should trust. This is what my father told me at that time, and I remember it well. I remembered my father's words well, and I did what he said every time I went to school. The school year passed and it was time for exams. I went to school full of hope that I would be one of the top students as I promised my father. I answered all the questions well and I returned home after the exam. My parents were waiting for me with many questions. John, did you answer well? I told him, don't worry, I deserved it. I answered all the questions well. The years passed one after another and my school days ended and my university days began. My father, John, said to me, You must remember my words well. Just as you were in school, you must be among the top students in university as well. I replied, "Don't worry, Dad, I will live up to your expectations." The first day of university came and the places, people, faces, and seats changed. Everything changed again. The classmates were new, but little by little I got to know some of them. But there was something strange, something I hadn't known before. What was it? Something I wasn't used to. Her look at me. What was it? Who was that girl? Why was she looking at me like that? I remembered my father's words to focus on my studies before anything else. I looked down and continued on my way. I shouldn't care about anything but my studies. When I got home, I was hungry. I looked at my mother who was waiting for me and said, "Mom, I'm hungry." My mother replied, "Yes, my son, everything is ready. Come to the table, we were waiting for you. I have prepared everything for you. On the table is all the food you desire ready." "I am happy to have you, Mom. I am lucky to have you, Mom. God bless you, Mom." And when the day was over, night came. I went to bed to sleep, but sleep would not come to me. Her gaze overwhelmed me. What was that look from that girl? I don't know what it was, I don't know, but her eyes never leave my memory. Days passed with this solution. I went to university every day except for holidays. I focused on my studies and outperformed many of my classmates. I was very hardworking. One day, as I was about to leave college, she looked at me with those same beautiful eyes. It was the same bewitching look. "Oh my God, how beautiful she is. Why is she looking at me like that? Who is she?" I went back home, but this time it was different. Her eyes have never left my memory. When evening came, her image never left my mind. I dreamt of her in my sleep. The next day, the exam began. I focused on the study material and answered the questions perfectly. The last day of the exam came, and I completed everything as it should have been. I was happy that I answered all the questions. As I was about to leave, I saw her in front of me again. I looked into her eyes for the first time. My blood felt like it had frozen and my heart was beating faster than usual. But that didn't last long. As she left, I froze for a few moments, then left for my home as well. I returned home happy. My mother was waiting for me at home. She looked at me with a big smile and said, "How are you today, my son?" I replied, "I am fine, Mom." She said, "I see you are very happy, my son." I said, "You answered all the questions brilliantly, Mom." She looked at me carefully. "I see something in your eyes, my son." I replied, "Nothing else, Mom." "I am very happy to have you by my side, Mom." She looked at me again and said, "Thank you." When I went to sleep, I felt relieved that I would be resting from the fatigue of studying throughout the vacation. I laid my head on the pillow, looked up, closed my eyes, took a deep breath and sighed happily. But something else replaced the study in my eyes. That girl, I don't know. Who is she? Why is she looking at me like that? Why is she looking at me with her beautiful eyes, and why am I like this? Oh my God, I want to know who she is, and why did she shower me with her glasses, me specifically? Many questions started to run through my mind, and sleep flew from my eyes, but I was happy about that. Had so many thoughts, but I couldn't sleep because of the sheer number of them running through my head. The next day, I woke up late and things weren't like usual. I didn't study or do anything except eat breakfast, and I felt empty. I decided to go for a walk in the public park. What would happen after studying? Would my life be like this? I told myself, no, I will build a successful life like my father, and I will build a family and a home. I was like any other young man, building a rosy life and endless dreams. But that's life, it doesn't turn out the way we wish it would. Days passed and college days came again, and when my first day was over, I didn't care to go but waited for her. I want to know who she is. Why she's looking at me like that. There she is passing. I looked at her, she looked at me. I froze in place like that. Whatever her name was, I knew it when another girl called her Emma. Oh, her name is beautiful like her beauty full of music, Emma. Then I went home as usual and the days passed, and one day, as I was about to leave for university, I saw her standing under a tree. I went over to her thinking about what I should do, and anyway I had to get to know her, so I said, "Good luck." She looked at me with a big smile and said,
"You too."
Her face beamed with happiness and I smiled back and said, "My name is John."
"My name is Emma."
I told her, "Why do you look like that every time you see me?"
"You are a handsome, kind, hard-working person, and I have admired you since the first moment I saw you."
She said that. I felt very happy and I told her, "I also admire you." I said to myself, I wish the days would always pass like this. I asked her how she was doing at university. "If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll always be by your side," she replied.
"From now on we will be together, and if you need anything I will tell you, and I will be honest with you forever, because I am always honest."
The days passed like this and we met every day. The exam was approaching and the school year and our university days were about to end. One day I said to her, "Promise me that we will stay together forever," she replied.
"Yes, we will be together forever. I am yours and no one else's. I will remain faithful to you forever. You are my first and last love."
You are everything to me. Promise me that we will always meet up on vacation. There is a wonderful summer trip. Do you want to go with me? If you come with me, I will be happy.
The holiday came and it was time for the trip. I went according to the bus schedule. She and her friend Rita were waiting for me. When I reached them, she said to me,
This is my dear friend who has always been loyal to me. She is my support, my caring and loving sister, and I depend on her for everything. She's always there for me when I need her. I find her right there. She's kind, smart and loyal. She's Rita.
She sat in the front seat next to me and Rita sat across from me. We talked about the coming days, what we had to do and plans for the future. How to build a beautiful home and wonderful children. Rita listened to us, loved us and shared conversations with us at other times. When the trip was over, I returned home and my mother was waiting for me. She hugged me tightly and said,
I missed you so much, my son. This is the first time you've been away from me like this.
I told her, "I'm always by your side, Mom. Even if I'm away from you, you're always on my mind." I went to my room that night to rest a little. I laid my head on the pillow, looked at the ceiling and closed my eyes. Everything was going through my head. All the sensations of the trip were before me. Oh God, if only the beautiful days could last and last. I was so happy about that, and in the morning I woke up to a beautiful dream. It was her. She is beautiful as always. Even in my dreams she is beautiful. The dream was a source of happiness for me. I went to the bathroom to take a shower. Then I went to have breakfast, which was already prepared. We all sat at the table as one family, me, my father, my mother and my siblings. After breakfast my mother brought me a cup of tea. They were talking about many things, but I didn't join in any of the conversation, because I was thinking about the dream I had that morning and what I might do in the future. I didn't tell anyone anything about my thoughts and dreams and left that for the coming days, and I said to myself, I will tell my father after the college years are over. I will talk to my father and tell him everything frankly, and I will tell my father after the college years are over. I will talk to my father and tell him everything frankly, and I will tell. I wish those days would pass quickly, that I would go to work and build my house quickly, and that Emma would always be by my side. Days passed like this until we reached our final year of university and we were eagerly awaiting our exams. We met at university every day, her and I. And sometimes Rita was with us. Rita was the only one who knew everything about us. She was her closest friend. The person she confided in everything, even her secrets. She would tell her everything, big and small. Lately, Rita has started interfering in my life a lot, unlike usual. Whenever Emma and I talked, Rita would always barge in, asking questions and giving answers. I didn't like this, and when I told Emma, she said she was my best friend, so don't worry about us. She's kind, sweet, and friendly, and she's like a twin sister to me. Rita gradually got closer to me, and one day, Emma and I were sitting under the same tree where we had first met. Rita came and sat next to me and said, "Oh, it's so hot, come on Emma, buy us an iced drink to quench our thirst." Emma said, "Yes, I will." Emma did as she said. And Rita came closer to me and said, "I want to tell you something, but first of all, I want you to promise to keep it a secret between you and me. Don't tell anyone, not even Emma, no one, anyone." "Say it," I said. "No, I won't say anything until you promise me first." I felt a little nervous. My heart pounding, what could she say? Why did she want me to promise? "Answer me," I said again. "You worried me, I won't say anything until you promise me." "I promise," I said. My anxiety increased because Emma was late buying us a drink. Rita looked at me and said, "Who is Emma to you?" I said, "She means everything to me. She's my friend and she's going to be my wife." We agreed and she agreed. She turned to me and said, "Who am I to you?" I said, "A loyal, honest, faithful friend." She said, "Have I ever lied to you?" I said, "No." She said, "I've never lied to you and I never will." She said, "What do you know about true love?" I said, "Loyalty and devotion to the one you love until your last breath." She turned to me and said, "Emma is not right for you, she doesn't love you, she is just using you to take your effort and succeed like you. She is jealous of you and wants to excel like you because she asks you about everything and gives the same answers as you. In the exam, the answer is the same as your answer. She is fake, and time will prove that to you, and you will see that after you graduate from university." I looked at Emma coming from afar and remained silent. Rita didn't speak either. When I asked Emma why she was late, she said, "I couldn't find what we wanted in the nearby stores," so she went to another store which was a bit further away. We drank the drink in silence. Emma looked at me and said,
Are you okay? Why are you so quiet?
I said, "Nothing, I'm just tired and it's hot in here." There was silence for a few minutes. "Let's go home." That day when I got home, I went straight to my room. My mom came up to me and said, "Don't you want to eat?" I said, "I ate outside, Mom." She asked, "Is something wrong, son?" I said, "Nothing, Mom, I'm tired and I want to rest. Please, I want to sleep." "Yes, son," she replied and left my room. I laid my head on the pillow and looked up at the ceiling, then closed my eyes. My thoughts were almost tearing me apart from the many thoughts filling my head. My head ached from thinking so much. Was what Rita said true? Was this real? Was Emma faking what she said? I thought, what would Rita have in her interest to cause a rift between us? Was Rita telling the truth or lying? The next day, I met Emma. She told me that her father was going to buy them a new house in another city. One that was bigger and nicer than their current one, and that they would move there after our exams and university studies were over. I asked, "Can you tell me about it?" "Of course," she said. "I will show you everything so you can come and meet me there." She said she was looking forward to our wedding impatiently. "Everything will be for me and you because you are everything to me." After meeting her, I headed to our house. When I arrived, I saw Rita waiting for me in the middle of the road. When she saw me, she came over and said, "Hello." I said, "Hello, are you waiting for someone?" She replied, "Yes, I am waiting for you." I looked at her and asked if anything bad had happened. "No," she replied, "but I want to talk to you about some things. And I want you by my side, I need you these days." I looked at her worriedly and said, "Tell me," she said.
I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer them.
I looked at her even more surprised and said, "Tell me what you have." She said, "What is your definition of love?" I said, "It is giving and sacrificing yourself for the one you love without limits and without expecting anything in return." Then she asked, "What do you know about happiness?" I replied, "Happiness is a language that expresses joy, delight, and everything that arouses pleasure in the human soul." As for the definitions of happiness in the various sciences, they vary from one human field to another, from one individual to another, and from one society to another. Aristotle's definition of happiness differs from Plato's. He sees it as pleasure, meaning the absence of pain and distress. Aristotle, however, defines happiness according to its virtue, if the soul has more than one virtue. It is according to the greatest and most perfect of its virtues. He believes that happiness is pleasure. Or at least it is closely related to it, that is, pleasure, and pleasure in turn is explained as the conscious absence of pain and distress. Then she looked at me and a big smile appeared on her face and she said,
You answered correctly. I am the one who gives you all this because I am true love, not the fake one who fills the world with screaming and lies to you. I am the one who loves you silently and gives you everything without expecting anything in return. I am the one who will be like a candle that burns for you and stays up all night to make you happy. I am the one who will bless you with the children you love, who will be a part of me and you.
I was listening to Rita and I was surprised. I couldn't believe what she was saying. Was this Emma's friend? I was just listening. After the meeting had lasted for more than 2 hours, I said to her, Okay, I have to go home because it's late and I need to rest. We have an exam tomorrow and we have to pass it. And when I got home, I went straight to my room heading to sleep, and I was thinking everything about Emma and what Rita said. Is this real? Does Rita love me or not? Does Emma love me or not? Is Emma fake like Rita said? Is this real? And my heart and feelings were directed towards Emma. Emma is the one I love, but what made Rita say this? She also loves me for sure, but did I love her? No, Emma is the one I love. I went to the exam and did everything perfectly. The last day came and I finished perfectly. I was proud of myself and happy that everything I did was right. I met Emma and told her that I was happy about it, that I would tell my family everything, that I was going to get married. That I will work hard for you, that you will be the wife I have dreamed of, and that everything will go as I have planned. When I got home, I met my family. I told them everything about Emma, that I loved her and that we were going to get married. I asked my parents if we could go to her parents' house to arrange everything. They agreed and said they were happy to hear it. I called Emma and asked her to meet me tomorrow and she agreed. When we met, I told her what had happened between me and my parents and that they were happy. I asked for her home address. She said, wait until the day after tomorrow because we are going to buy a new house in another city.
We'll have to wait until the day after tomorrow because we're going to buy a new house in another city, as I told you before, and I'll give you the new address. After that, because my father sold our current house, when we buy the new house and move in, I'll give you the new address so you can come and do everything right.
When I got home, my father told me that we were going on a pleasant trip to the countryside tomorrow morning and that there was a wonderful market there the next day. As I was about to leave with my family, I saw Rita talking to Emma in the distance. I asked my father to wait for me, that I wouldn't be gone more than 5 minutes. I tried to go to Emma, who had started walking. I tried to reach her faster, but the distance between us was great, so she disappeared behind the crowd and I could no longer see her because of the crowd. I decided to go back to my father. And on the way back, Rita was standing there looking at me with a big smile. She greeted me and I greeted her back. She wanted to come closer to me, but I was in a hurry to go back to my father. On our way back from our fun trip in the evening, when we returned from the trip, my father was sitting in the driver's seat, my mother next to him. And I was sitting in the back seat next to my brother and sister. The headlights of the cars on the opposite road were bright, so my father said I couldn't see the road well. A speeding car approached us and crashed into us. I heard a loud noise and we were thrown into the air and fell to the ground. After that, I saw nothing. Then, when I woke up in the hospital, I tried to remember something. I remembered my brother and sister who were in the back seat next to me. I found nothing around me except a doctor and the nursing staff. When I asked about my brother and sister, they said they were fine. I remembered my father and mother, so I asked the doctor about my father and he said he had passed away. When I asked about my mother, he said she was fine but had broken her leg in the tragic accident. When I tried to get up, I couldn't. My body was in so much pain. I asked, "Any visitors?" No one came to me. A day or two passed. They said, "You have some visitors." I asked, "Who?" I thought it was Emma, but it wasn't her, it was Rita. She was carrying a bouquet of flowers she had given me. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Rita brought me flowers every day. I waited for Emma, but she never came. When I asked Rita about her, she replied, "She left and I don't know anything about her." When I left the hospital, the next day I came to visit my mother, who was still in the hospital. I saw Rita standing outside the hospital door holding a bouquet of flowers. When she saw me, she said, "This time is not for you, I'm for your mother." When I left my first day at work and on my way home, halfway there, I saw Rita waiting for me, holding a bouquet of flowers in her hands. In the same place where she had waited for me the first time, and she said, "Congratulations on your first day at work." This is my story, guys. Answer me, who is telling the truth and who is lying? Did Emma trick me and make me fall in love with her? What was the conversation that took place between Emma and Rita the last time I saw her talking to Rita? Or was Rita the one who tricked Emma and me and faked everything? Answer me, I'm halfway there.
If you know who is fake and who is real, Rita or Emma, and what John should do, write to us in the comments. And if you like the story, do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel because we need your support.